Hello fight fans, thanks for joining us at MMA Insider. Before we get rolling with today's news, show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing. Now let's uncover the latest happenings in MMA. Starting off, Leon Edwards claims the UFC told him that Belal Muhammad was not a big enough name to headline UFC 300. Moving on, Strickland responds to Khamzat Chimaev's unfinished business declaration. Next, Leon Edwards claims Belal Muhammad wanted a way out by not continuing after eye poke in first fight. Moving on, Conor McGregor informs beggar Michael Chandler that he's fully healed ahead of UFC return. Lastly, Sean O'Malley blasts mentally weak Conor McGregor. Leon Edwards is claiming that the UFC told him Belal Muhammad was not a big enough name for UFC 300. Big enough name or not, it will be current UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards going up against Belal Muhammad at UFC 304 this coming Saturday, July 27th at the Co-op Live in Manchester, England. The two fighters previously met back in March of 2021, which ended in a no contest due to an accidental eye poke. Well, apparently Leon Edwards had volunteered to headline the historic UFC 300 after Conor McGregor was ruled out, but it was not to be. Edwards is saying he suggested it be him and Muhammad, but alas, the UFC didn't believe the former carried enough weight or star power for UFC 300. Speaking to the media, here is what he said. "I said his name to the UFC. I actually said to the UFC, what about Belal? They said he's not a big enough name to headline UFC 300, and I was like, fair enough. That's the reason why we're here now in Manchester. I feel like he's definitely not a big enough star to headline 300. But for me, I wanted to fight, and I was like, okay, what about this guy talking loads of and everyone thinks he deserves a title shot? Why not get him? But like I said, UFC wasn't on it." Continuing, Leon Edwards spoke of the first bout between himself and Belal Muhammad. "Everyone's seen the way the first round went. I also remember how slow he was in there and just how he felt in the clinch. I can't take away from that. Apart from that, technical-wise, I'm approaching it as a brand new fight and breaking it down and looking at the Belal now, the 36-year-old guy he is now that hasn't fought for over a year now. He's definitely improved since then, but I feel like I'm just the better all-around mixed martial artist than him. I'm more athletic than him." Edwards will be coming into Saturday's bout having won 4 straight victories in the octagon. Muhammad, although not having fought since May of 2023, has won 5 straight fights in the cage. Do you think the 36-year-old Muhammad can dethrone the 32-year-old Edwards? Share your thoughts and comments. Former UFC middleweight champion Strickland has Khamzat Chimaev in his sights if he reclaims the title. Strickland is holding out for another middleweight title shot after defeating former title challenger Paulo Costa at UFC 302. He defeated Costa unanimously before declaring that he intended to hold out for a title shot instead of facing another top contender. One of the middleweight contenders in the mix for a big-name fight is Chimaev, who hasn't fought since a win over Kamaru Usman at UFC 294. He's expected to return later this year against a to-be-determined opponent. Khamzat and Strickland briefly trained together earlier in their careers. Recently, Khamzat has been asked about his time sparring with Strickland, and the former claims there's unfinished business between them in the octagon. It didn't take long for the often vocal Strickland to respond. In a recent Instagram comment, Strickland responded to Chimaev's remarks. Here is what he said. "I made Chimaev retire after COVID. I'm fighting for the belt, then he can get the smoke." Strickland is looking to get back to the middleweight title after a loss to Dricus du Plessis at UFC 297. Before that, he pulled off one of the biggest upsets in UFC history when he defeated Israel Adesanya in September. During his UFC career, Strickland has defeated the likes of Abus Magomedov and Uriah Hall. He's become a fan favorite in recent years, a status that ramped up after his title win last year. Khamzat, unbeaten in his professional MMA career, has lacked activity in recent years due to various health issues. A foodborne illness forced him to withdraw from a scheduled main event fight with Robert Whittaker last month. Strickland remains steadfast in waiting for the title shot, but after reclaiming the belt, he's ready to face his former sparring partner. Leon Edwards says Belal Muhammad didn't want to fight him anymore after the first round of their fight back in 2021. Muhammad stepped up on short notice to headline a fight night card at the Apex against Edwards in a pivotal fight at welterweight. In the first round, Edwards had a lot of success as he landed a head kick that rocked Muhammad. Then, just seconds into the second round, Edwards' eye poked Muhammad and the fight was stopped as Belal couldn't continue. Now, ahead of their rematch as Edwards puts his welterweight title on the line in the main event of UFC 304, the Brit says Muhammad wanted a way out of their first fight and took it with the eye poke as he knew he was going to lose. Here is what he said. I was having my way. I feel like I was just getting into the fight. I heard him in round 1. I had him wobbled. I went for a crosshead kick and my finger kind of touched just under his eye. The way he was crying, I thought it actually went into his eyeball, but it didn't. It went under his lid. Skill for skill, I was the better man. I think it showed in the fight. I was piecing him from round 1 to the incident happened. I definitely feel like he was looking for a way out. Leon Edwards is coming off a lackluster decision win over Colby Covington in December to defend his welterweight title for the second time. He had edged out a decision over Kamaru Usman to defend his belt for the first time after he scored a 5th-round KO win over Usman to win the title. Former two-weight UFC champion Conor McGregor is seemingly healthy and ready to fight Michael Chandler. McGregor and Chandler were set to meet in the main event of UFC 303 last month. For Conor McGregor, the bout would snap a nearly 3-year layoff and would be his first since breaking his leg in 2021. Meanwhile, Michael Chandler hasn't competed since a submission loss to Dustin in late 2022. However, the welterweight contest didn't happen. Over 2 weeks out from fight day, Conor McGregor withdrew from the bout due to a broken toe. While there were discussions for Michael Chandler to face short-notice replacement Max Holloway, he too was pulled from the card. In its place was a light heavyweight title rematch between Alex Pereira and Yuri Prohaska. Over a month removed from their UFC 303 fight cancellation, it seems that Conor McGregor is ready to go. Earlier this week, Michael Chandler taunted McGregor on a video of the Irishman asking him how his foot was doing. In response, McGregor stated that he was fully healed. However, the post on X was later deleted by the former champion. While Conor McGregor might be healthy, it remains to be seen if he'll compete this year. Conor has been adamant about competing as soon as August, but that idea was shot down by Dana White. Meanwhile, Michael Chandler has called for the chance to headline the hyped Las Vegas Sphere show against McGregor in September. However, it instead seems that the two will collide in December. Based on several reports about Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, the welterweight bout will likely land in Las Vegas at the end of the year. However, that too is far from official at this stage. Regardless, the Irishman's post is a good sign that he's taking his comeback seriously. Since suffering his broken toe, Conor McGregor has been busy working to promote Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Conor held his first press conference as a part owner last week and took aim at everyone from Jake Paul to Ilya. UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley has taken aim at Conor McGregor. O'Malley has praised McGregor in the past, saying he played a key role in his early MMA career. However, seemingly out of nowhere on Monday night, O'Malley took to social media to blast McGregor, saying he is no longer in the GOAT conversation and that he is a mentally weak individual. Here is what he said. Conor isn't in any one GOAT talk. Entertainment, yes, but skills, no. Has a really good left hand. Cardio. Weak jits. Decently athletic. Mentally weak. Drug addict. Needs rehab. 1-4 last 5 fights. Still fan though. Hope toe heals up. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Your dedication and support fuel our passion to bring you the latest and greatest in the MMA world. If you enjoyed today's news, please give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow MMA fans. Remember to subscribe to stay in the loop with daily MMA updates. We've got a lot of exciting news, interviews, and analysis coming your way every single day. Your engagement helps us grow and serve the MMA community even better. Once again, thank you for being an integral part of our daily MMA journey.